late edition. What's going on, everybody? Great to see you. Let's get right to the business. Get over to harmonictrader.com. Get more information about the strategy course. That's this Friday. Friday. And again, on the blog, just hit the blog, harmonictrader.com. Everything else, basic membership is where everyone should start. All the free materials, and then get the software. So anybody who wants to go to that session, it's for subscribers and owners, trial users. At least get set up with the software. Send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. Okay, enough of that. What's up? Chat. Come on in. Settle in. 1 o'clock edition of our Tuesday session. And futures are down 300 on the NASDAQ and Q, and then S&P ES down 63. Let's get to it. Yeah, and we're also in a rollover situation, going from March to June contract. So if you're already trading the June, that's going to be about 200 pips, 200 points higher. And we got to talk about just the last 3 trading sessions, because when we were here on Thursday, we were absolutely at the edge. We were right here, 19,200. That is the edge for NASDAQ. And we need to see some constructive behavior now, because the last 3 days, what have we been able to register? A couple of sharks, some bearish 5-minute patterns, still below some breakdown gaps, and even going through what I would say is a type 1 off this crab pattern all the way down here at target 2 already. A lot going on. What's up, Tails? James, Pat, TA, Cat, Freeze, MK Ultra, everyone else, come on in. I think a little delayed. People probably didn't think I was doing a show today. Today's $3.99. Thursday will be the 400th Harmonic Pattern podcast. Never thought. Really never thought I'd do that. But here we are. Let me check my volume with you guys. Looks like I'm a little low. Touch low. Hello. Let me make sure. I'm going to boost some levels here. They look low, but everything else looks right. Okay. All great. Yeah, we're going to get to the stocks here in a second, because I think the stocks are absolutely on the edge too. I'm looking for a turnaround. Guys, we have this, and then on NASDAQ futures on the 4-hour chart, we have this. We have a bat pattern rounding out this entire contract history. August low, bat off the September low. And I think that probably the big thing, incredibly, is that we have a 1618 bullish extension, meaning we had that January rally, and then we have done a 1618 in 2025. We're at the lows of the year. It's pretty remarkable, but we are at those lows of the year. So, and we're scraping it. And on Thursday, I have to say, it was really, if we were going to break down anything any further than 5,500 S&P and 19.2 on the NASDAQ futures and Q, then you definitely we're going to have to kick up to those bigger time frames. Here you go. I think I got some better volume coming through now. Okay, great. Yep. Better. What's up, Mitt Call from San Diego? Yes, Cactus Leo. Tesla does have the same pattern, and we are looking for that in the same kind of setup. My volume is low. I think so. I don't know what's going on here. Volume is fine. What's up, Hammer? Thank you. Afternoon. Everybody else, let's look a quick squeeze at the ES, because ES futures, they were close, just as close. I mean, it really, this 5,500 level that we've talked about for so long on S&P futures down here, started at 57.32 and 54.98, the target 2 off the butterfly. Big. We managed to hold in here with what I've been saying is we need a couple of green bars. Even though today's down, we still have a few hours, and I'm looking really in this area. We need to hold this thing up. Where are we? Let me go to the 4-hour chart. Probably better at this point. 4-hour chart like that. Let me go extended hours as well, because I do think even the after hours, that's important at the moment. And you're at here another oversold, overbought HSI on ES, and you kind of filled the gap. So let's see what happens. Nothing yet to even suggest that's over. And I would even venture to say I would love to see a secondary HSI oversold that's at a higher level than what happened last week. So more work to do. More work to do, without a doubt. And then the bigger pattern that, we've covered for a while, this massive weekly and monthly deep crab pattern is probably going to be something we're going to be wrestling with all year. Whether it's a full type 1 sooner than later, or the definition of whatever continuation is to come will be defined by a breakout above 6180. I mean, it is simply until we recover and can kind of assault above 6180, we are going to remain in this retracement phase. This daily time frame has been pretty nice since the confirmation that we talked about. Again, that was like end of January. It was stubborn up here for a few months. But if we go dot to dot, which we should, we're down here at our first bullish dot, only the second one since the April or August low. And we're looking for some stabilization turnaround. It's going to take a little time. But how does it play out versus, say, the weekly? Because that is the in-between chart. You've got the daily hitting targets. The weekly has done its initial reaction, I would say, off of the confirmation. But we need to have this end, we need an up week. We need this amplified, okay, to give us an inflection. And then, ideally, HSI's got to come out, but I don't know if that's going to be this week or next week. We could spend more time down here. And if we do, then we probably get that bigger scenario sooner than later. RTHBADG adjusted. Yeah. That's what we had. Well, ETH, I hear what you're saying. RTH, regular trading hours versus extended, and then adjusting for, what is that, dividends? Okay, yeah, oh, Shark, I see what you're saying, but no confirmation. No, in fact, counter HSI right now. That's a problem for the short term. HSI on the 4-hour, regular trading hours, just regular sessions. It won't be official for 20 more minutes, but yeah, we're going to have to consider that. Not to mention those daily, weekly ranges, numbers link up with this, where 55.14, what was the low on that? 55.60. That's on regular trading hours. Electronic was there. 55.60 so far on that B adjusted for the contracts. Adjusting for contract change. Like I said, we're rolling over into the next, be aware, going into June. Definitely. So, look, this is going to take time. There's still a lot of work to be done for the end of what this retracement phase is. But is it just a retracement phase, or is this the larger breakdown now of the big weekly, monthly patterns? That's what I was talking about as we were looking at the edge of all this on Thursday. We're still not out of the woods. We need to see some strong development this week. Weekly bar, weekly candle needs to be green without a doubt. And then let me go here. And this range, especially this XA range at 56.15, treat that as support for now. So a close underneath 56.15, that's significant. Another bearish candle, that would be significant. And just to kind of refresh from Friday, that underneath these lows, we kick it up to the weekly. At that point, we've given it enough time. And I would say that, the larger scenario will take hold. That's what I meant by Friday. But I said we're right on the edge. Had to give it Thursday, Friday, and into Monday. And Friday and Monday were ideal. We just need HSI to pivot out fully this week. So be aware of that. That's still, I guess the monthly is the better of the two because we have double dot confirmation. But this is monthly chart. And the 50 level, let's leave it at that. A crack of the 50 level, what's going to be the real final signal that this larger bearish pattern is going to make a run for the T1 or lower? T1 48.73. We cracked the 50. We cracked the 50 on the monthly close. Might not happen, but HSI started last month. That's the first step. But I think the daily 4-hour stuff needs more time. Really quick, somebody wanted to look at the Russell. We haven't looked at the Russell in a while, and might be good to take a peek because what is this chart up here? Weekly, we had patterns here. And do we have anything that's constructively bullish yet? I would say no, not yet. Weeklies like that. Daily did register. And there you go. And we're down here at 203 off of the crab, but it's the second pattern we've seen. I'll just say this. The hop level at 196, that has to hold. And I think it's going to help going forward just defining what are the absolute levels that have to hold for this to only be a retracement. And I was thinking that we might even be having like an XA or even just ABCD off the top would be constructive. ABCD like that. 245 down to the B point, which is 2 call 15, 40 points. And then 40 off of that, 190. Excuse me, 30 points. 245, 215, 30 points. Got to do my math. So basically 200. 200 is critical, and that's probably the broadest company metric index to really get a clue of what's happening with a broader market. And in the weekly, we know it's this. So it is a type 1. We have massive patterns. I mean, we're just, you open up the software and go to the Russell chart. That's a type 1. Standard definition, 886. We talked about the 886 on this. There was no confirmation, so that's okay that it's still reaction. But here is the situation that, like a lot of these on the weekly, they don't want to come out just yet. We're going to have to be patient until they do. It's down there. It's under the 0. I mean, there it is. That's about as deep as this thing gets. So like a negative 10 at the moment, almost. And if I go back, the last time we saw such a low was basically end of 2018 and that big sell-off. We don't get under the 0 line too often. And just to get, there you go. Right there was that extreme oversold. We have a dot and then we went out. And then corresponding, that was a bit of a divergence, but still, we're deeply oversold. But we have to wait until that thing pops it. And then the final piece is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, where, and this relates to crypto and explains why a lot of things are not moving, that we're reacting off of this weekly crab pattern. Just took a little longer, and the best case scenario right now is to hold last week's low and give us 2 green weeks. That's asking a lot. That's really asking a lot. But the low there, 40,660. It's about 1,000 lower from current levels. If we break down 1,000 points on the Dow, then we go full type 1. We are that close. We're that close. I mean, it really did get interesting last week. Challenging absolute limits. Here on the weekly, we have a secondary oversold reading, but it's all early, guys. That's the problem here. We have to let this shake out. So big patterns, these will take a lot of time. I mean, a 30 bar thing, it's easy to open up charts and look at patterns without really even thinking about time. But time here is exactly what's going on, of weeks and weeks, 30 weeks. Here's our 30-week window. That puts us till April. Really a lackluster start to the year. And then what's the monthly candle going to look like? Is this an ugly monthly candle? Starting to get ugly. But there's confirmation up there. I mean, there's a lot to go on where a 3-bar breakdown is probably the start to doing something more than what you're just this minimum pause. That's why we're on the edge. And on every metric of things that we look for, if you go under the 50 level, that's a problem for accelerating further. Reason, cause, and HSI's firmly under the 50. And I at that point, if that was a 5-minute chart or hourly chart, I would still be looking for a minimum oversold test. Look, like we had in 2022, it seems to be a very similar chart. You're under the 50 and you're in the 30-something level, about to go to 11.3 over the next many months. And think of it this way as well. We would need to get back above the 50 level, guys, for this to be turning around. A lot of things here where we're asking a lot for this thing to turn around anytime soon. I think we could start with a daily, get the daily resolve for right now, and then turn back up and let that only be like a range bound, necessarily going back 6 months, 8 months. So we're close. I have to monitor it. If we get kind of a dump into the end of the month, I wouldn't be surprised, but we'd have to then adjust what we expect going forward. Absolutely. So big stocks, things that long I kind of like. I've talked about these before. Amazon does not seem to want to give it up. Did we hit the top this morning? I think we did. 189, 189.38, 113, 189.67. That's going to need more time though. I mean, that's the monthly, that's the daily, and then our weekly here. This is the kind of recurring theme. That's a substantial oversold reading down here, almost minus 15, and you have to go way back. I mean, this is clearing out decade low readings. 2013. I have to go. I don't. This might be the lowest reading on record for Amazon for a weekly. It's something. It really is something. So it's going to take quite a bit for that to rebound. And early, I'm definitely early on this shark. It's probably more like 189, as low as like 183 before that turns around. So this stuff is supposed to be getting constructive, and it's not. The only thing that I'm watching for Amazon on the daily is what happens with HSI. That has to turn up. But these are a couple of major examples of things not moving. So I need to see more development here. S&P is up, excuse me, is still minus 63, and NASDAQ's down 315. What else? What do you guys got? Should we go to crypto? Yeah, Tesla. Let's look at Tesla quickly. I mean, Tesla's low end of the range here. Tesla's another one where on the weekly, it simply doesn't want to do it. And so we're going to have to just give it time. 227. We were 250 something, 252 a day or two ago, stuck in the zone. I have to see this thing get out of the 50 on amplified and give me another flex higher immediately. I mean, this thing is so washed out, and I do like. I like the fact that there's a lot of bad negative stories, kind of human emotion, human interest stories, I would suppose, of negative press, and typically that stuff. If you get setups in that kind of environment, that eventually goes away, and that pressure of whatever that is then just subsides, and then you see the reason for people taking action in one direction or the other, they go away. And again, this has been a retracement we have been looking for. Should have made, of course, should have been shorting. I mean, I told you guys all along, this was the retracement we were looking for. I didn't have confirmation. It's still a reaction with everything going on, but HSI as well, deeply oversold. How that works is that we have to wait for that to come out. And that might need a week, 2 weeks before it comes out. All right, so that's it's a time issue again, and I know on a lot of these we've been waiting a long time. Speaking of time, we'll talk about that on Friday. And again, I wanted to bring everybody's attention to the strategy course. That's on Friday. It's available. An email has been sent out to all owners, subscribers, gold members, Harmonic Trader members. If you have won in the last 30 days, one of our packages, you get to go as well. And you have been sent those invites. If you do not have the invitation for the link for Friday morning, DM me on the Discord, okay? That's the place to do it. Get with that. And then again, for all the new folks, get with the software, because this course that we're doing Friday is all about the software and reading it step by step. We do that every day here, but this will give more of a defined framework, step by step. Like, okay, where's HSI? Where's amplified? We just looked at the Russell about 5 minutes ago. There, you can catch us in the Discord on that link. Make sure you're DMing the right person. I've responded. I actually caught up on anything I missed this week, this morning. Let's look at a couple more big ones. In the T section, Taiwan Semi. We're back down here again against. Look, this is a beautiful type 2 where, and this is a fresh long, back at 173. It's a Gartley. It's T2. What needs to happen, really, for this to get going? Amplified. That's the only thing. We're going to need like 1-2 days up above that 50 level for that to start to set free. Okay. Another one, I'm in on this 179. XA levels 179.73. I'm a little early. I'm a touch early, no doubt. But we get the breakout. I will add to this. I know that doesn't seem like a heck of a lot, other than it's a perfect type 2. Let's give it 30 bars. So, 30 bars here from the T2. We go out. We're going to have to be patient with that till mid-April. A lot of these still pointing up to mid-April. A lot of the scenarios that were type 2s are big patterns, and we have a lot of patterns. It's there. The other one, yeah, AMD. Who wanted to look at that one? Mick, call, send me another DM or email me if you didn't get the invite. Pretty sure you did. Check your spam folder. AMD's been an interesting one that we talked about recently of 102.81. That was a big level. There's no dot here on the weekly. Okay, I would prefer to see HSI to end that reaction. So this might just be like a daily. It's a daily short-term rally. Haven't done much, but 102 has been the number for a long time. I think with something that's basically lost more than half its value, which it has, and gone down this long, we can give it a little more time before really assessing if this is the monster turnaround point or not. I like it. I would even say that if we don't hold here, and this is something that's always been in the back of my mind regarding all the patterns that happen in 2022. I am not doing anything on AMD yet, and I would want to see a couple of weeks. But I will say this, and it's kind of fits in with the larger shift being on the edge of all these numbers, that if we have to kick up to the higher time frame, patterns like this that have come back this far are likely going to get T2'd. They're going to likely do the full return. All right, not there yet, but this would be a part of that scenario. So if you're into AMD, I'm just saying be super careful. There's no need to rush on a setup like that. What it should be is a type 1 shark to 5-0. There's the shark, and that's the 50 at target 1. And return it, but there's no confirmation. So the corresponding action is simply wait, continue to monitor it. But I will say this, okay, this is just a close under last week's lows, like under 95. You shoot it back to 60. That's where it would have to go. That's the issue currently going on. Okay. Yeah, we can look at that. You guys want to People want to look at the DAX. I'll look at the DAX. Haven't looked at that in a while. I don't, you know what? I haven't looked at European indices in a long time. Where's DAX index? You want to short it. What's up, MC? You're saying you want to short the DAX. That looks like gold, man. That looks like the gold chart. Gold well above 3,000 today. 3,050 at one point. There's the DAX. I don't have anything, like if you're wanting to short, super early. I mean, that's like trying to catch a knife right there. Amazing. 23,000 on the DAX. Are you kidding me? That spent like 10 years down there at 10,000. That's amazing. I don't know what you're, unless you got something special. DAX is just continuing every 4 hour. Remarkable. 4 hour, 4 hour, 4 hour. We just coming off another 4 hour we're sold. I don't have any short recommendations there on the DAX. Amazing. 23,000. I haven't looked at those. There's the 4 hour. There's a DAX cash. Type 2 on the 4 hour, but no confirmation again. So we have to wait. Something like that. Not a lot to offer with that. Let me get back to some of the bigger ones. Okay, things that are, let's just talk big American companies like JP Morgan. Could be because here's another one that's, like, this does not too often do straight retracements like that of 20%, but that's what you're looking at right here with a dot. I mean, this is the cream of the crop for companies. So if JP Morgan's going to have an issue, especially with all of these dots and a whole bunch of prior technicals, all that around 225, then the market's going to have a problem. That's what I'm looking at currently. Big companies. Okay. Is there something going on here? Is this breaking down? That's daily, and that's going back October 23. So that's on a 15-month tear. And then your monthlies like this. Amazing run the last 5 years since, what's that, COVID low? No, October 22 low. 100 to 260, great move. I mean, that's just 1 month. A lot there, though. I mean, for now, that gives me hope. Looking at that chart with the daily, I mean, that looks like just a capitulation retracement. Taking back the 886, filling the gap. Yeah, did we fill that gap? Well, depends if you want to go there or there. But again, another 886 election reset. So if we frame it out within those kind of retracements, just about everything has retraced 88.6% of the election rally. That's what it is. It's a 886 reset of the election Trump bump. Can we at least get a 382? Because if that's it, then, something like that. If we're going to frame it out 1-2, minimum retracement, I would still say that there's a lot here where that should be it for JP Morgan. You're above the 50. Amplified's got to get above the 50. Here we go again. Let me show you guys what happens when you don't want to come out. Like the last couple of times, we go back to September. Okay, HSI had washed out for JP Morgan. And then Amplified was not above the 50, and it rolled back down and didn't come out above the 50 until really there. The point being, we cannot expect price acceleration until that happens. And I would, bring your eyeball, back to here as well. Okay, HSI came out. This is December. It pops sideways, but the real acceleration comes in that secondary segment. I think this will be a lot clearer for people after what we do in the course, but it's about character and it's about what we can expect from price action. And if we're not, just by the reading of it, if we're not above the 50 and we're still trying to get to 50, well, price action is going to look like this. It's even going to look like this. I mean, a slight bump. That's kind of what I'm looking for now. A few days up, sideways drift higher, and then accelerate after we clear important metrics like the 50 level. That's a daily chart. But if we had some patterns in here, that would help as well. A lot to get to on that course. Yeah. I mean, those are big. Those are some of the big ones, especially Dow style. Check out Walmart. You know, Walmart had a crab pattern here right at the top and has not stopped since that crab. This is, put that in the category of extreme type 1 reactions, because that's what that is. I mean, by definition, you're pretty much, you hit target 2, you're out. But what did not happen when you hit targets was amplified was not out, HSI, no dot, no, not above the 50. Now you might have early stages of something with Walmart to end this reaction. And again, this is going to be stuff we'll talk about on Friday. If it's a 30-second, 5-minute, 4-hour chart, daily, weekly, doesn't matter. Like, how do we know that this is going to go T1 or T2 or further? And a lot of it has to do with just reading what's going on with, say, amplified. Can we get above the 50? Or primarily, it starts with HSI, not at 50, but getting to 50. The same way that it went to 50 back here in early January when you're trading like 90. That was like 93, 91, 92 before it went to 104. You got that segment. We need this segment to happen. We need to get above the 50, okay, and stay above the 50 and continue higher. And we're not even above the 50 yet. That's why we're still talking about the edge of these harmonic patterns. I'm thinking we're really close. I really think Thursday was the limit. And last Monday being down as much as it was, almost 1,000 in NASDAQ and a lot of these individual issues, we're washed out. What is RMH or RHM, John? I don't know RHM. I'll take a quick look. RHM. Rheinmetall. It's got to be German steel. Nice chart. I can't offer you anything there. Can't offer anything with that. Nice chart, though. What about like something like U.S. Steel or some of these others? They've been stuck. U.S. Steel, 30 to 40, basically. But I do think those are good ideas. And I think if this is a retracement and that's all it is, then we should be looking at these daily and weekly signals. There's Caterpillar, a new dot here on the weekly at 335. So the last one we had was 325. And then the last one prior to that was 170. Last one to that was like 200. Then the last two there were like 95 or 100. My point being with stocks like this, just I call them forever stocks, big industrials like this, and you go on their long-term trends. I mean, you know, you continue to ride that trend and wait for weekly pullbacks like that. So at least 330 vicinity, I'm looking for something on Caterpillar. Wasn't there a daily Gartley or yeah, it's a bat here. So there's Caterpillar, 336, guys. With confirmation, it retested on Monday and holding. These are the stocks I would be watching now. We love looking at Tesla. I'm long Tesla, but there's a whole bunch of other stocks here that are going to gauge whether or not this market is going to come back, give us a rebound into the end of the quarter or not. And that's what we are really focused on. We need this recovery rally into the end of the quarter, end of the month. Caterpillar is another one to be looking at. I mean, there's several. What's the other one? The other one would be like Bank of America. You know, look at that. Another dot, a nice 20+% correction. Daily dot. There you go. But at the all-time 886. Couldn't get through the all-time 886 from 5 years ago. And I'll tell you what, this is an amazing monthly chart. So check this out. So we had a monthly shark, and this is right before the financial crisis, okay? When Bank of America went 51 down, I think that was 3, and they were lucky to get bought at that price and then spun out. Or they got the infusion. I forget who they got the infusion from. Basically, the bank was saved at $3, and then Buffett came in here and stole the bank. What's my point? My point is that we are up against these levels here long term. So Bank of America is another one where this is the first month in a few years that we've had a nasty bearish candle, but we're right up against long-term resistance at 47. So I'm watching this. I'm looking at these kind of stocks more now for further signs of trouble than I have in 2 years or longer, or more like 4 years. A lot of these are going on. Let's even get to something super boring, old IBM. Okay, here's IBM again. That another situation. This is the first month. We could say last month, but really this is the first red candle since retesting confirmation, and it's right in the massive zone of a crab pattern. That's monthly again. So watch this. It's not triggered until we break down under the 50. And again, I'm thinking that if this stuff starts to roll over more and we just see this kind of continued trading grind lower, another 2 or 3 more months of this is going to give us bigger problems. No doubt. We have big patterns here. Big patterns in the Dow, big patterns in the S&P. NASDAQ, I mean, and can we even get a relief rally off of some important daily levels that are a true make or break? And then Home Depot is another one where monthly, weekly, was it Home Depot? Couldn't get through, but no, maybe not. It was, I think it was Deere. Monthly level here. There was one other one. It escapes me. I'll come back to this. But I'm looking at those kind of big stocks. Above and beyond just the tech. Quick, let me jump over to gold because this is definitely going to go to our 3,300 target now. 30.40 at the moment. And remember, we had this daily crab pattern and then we had a counter bullish signal. Check it out. We're going, and we're doing this beyond the seasonal bullish time for gold, which is basically usually up over in February. We see it topped out or rolling over by the end of February, early March, continuing higher. Right now, gold, just amazing, 30.75. Nothing there until we can register overbought again. So let's look, make a run at like 3,100 or 30.75. And we have been just super clear about what's going on here. The big, what's that, 1618? No, 2618. Yeah, it's like this. 2618 off the last financial crisis retracement, post financial crisis retracement. Your 2618 is still 3,300. I think that's a pretty good target for this year. We'll have some bumps along the way, but not many. So, and 3,000 is just a number, guys. Yeah, Home Depot. I hear what you're saying. But I'm looking more at the bigger crab style patterns. Something's up with gold too. Maybe the gold's not at Fort Knox. Maybe there's just they don't have the gold. And the 3618 target is still, keep it in the back of your head, okay? 4,200 possibility on this move. I'm going to take it in chunks. I'm going to say 33. We've been focused on that. That's the first step, 2618. Fed tomorrow. Yeah. I don't really even care. I think the Fed has been working against the market for a while. But let's do a couple more before I go over to Bitcoin. Justin wants to look at Southwest Airlines. And I think what you're getting at is this. Shark to 5.0. And what does this suggest? I mean, is there a major bottom in the airlines? And I'm going to show you a couple of big airline charts. There's the weekly. Nice one, Justin. Why? Well, if airlines are setting up like that, then this must mean there's going to be some better news with lower crude prices. And this is just one. I think it's a great one to start with for these airlines, transports in general. And we should be looking at transports and utilities. Like at this point, we absolutely need to kind of have our finger on the pulse of different areas of the market because we are at such the edge. If we're going to have this larger breakdown, we'll see it in other areas. If not, we should get stuff like this, which is nice, man. That's a sweet weekly deep crab, obviously responding at the hop level. And just to give everybody a quick taste of what we'll do in the course is basically lining up patterns as opportunities in a way that I don't think I've ever been just so focused on software automated signals. Identifying the situation. Is there a pattern? Yes. T1. Is there confirmation? No. What can we expect? Reaction. Reaction to what? Target or HSI? Okay, I would not recommend that trade without confirmation. I'd rather let this stuff go. But where's confirmation come in? Down here. So instead of 30, we're looking more like 25. Secondary, tertiary, third confirmation at a higher level. That stuff matters. And we're now a little mini shark to 5.0. So we should at least see that bump back to 35. That's one way to look at that. Here's the other thing. Here's another one. Like, look at American Airlines. Oh, no, that's Alcoa, which I like. I like Alcoa. No, oh, come on. American. AAL. I knew that. Look at American Airlines right now on the weekly chart. A perfect 1-2. This was 20 recently. There's the T1 all the way back in 2022. T1 to target 1. That's it. It's over. You're done. You go T1 target 1. No confirmation. We haven't had a single yellow dot in this whole zone. But we're back down because there's T2, no confirmation. We almost got to target 2, but close enough. Is this a spot for potential third time on the weekly? Yes, but only with confirmation. And we're, again, look, deeply oversold. You're just going to have to wait But that's in another spot with a big weekly pattern. And then I thought there was monthly for that one. No, maybe I think it was Alaska Air. But I have noticed these airline stocks. Yeah, Alaska Air is this. That's a massive deep crab. But that's not as good as what I'm looking at for Love or yeah. The Alaska's this back to back. Gartley's at 34. You're 52. I'm not touching it because there's no confirmation here. T1, but you are oversold. Again, you have to wait. But the airlines are setting up big patterns in a lot of those stocks. Who's getting me? Okay, I know who it is. One or two other ones, like let's look at DJT, the transportation average. Okay, another one where bat pattern, but we have a dot. Okay, trying to set up this week. Not there yet, but really close. Transportation average, I'd say that's on the edge. And again, if we're going to have a problem, it's under 14,000 for transports. Monthly was just that monthly oversold or overbought reading. But do the 1-2 on the weekly. So type 1, looking for the end. We got to wait for the dot to complete. It's a little more waiting. That's what's going on with that. That's why you're seeing the markets continue to kind of just drift. I seriously, like right here, right now at 19,471 has been an important number for me on the NASDAQ all day. And that's on March contract. Yeah, what's up, Freeze? Yeah, Nike. Now, did that do the full check back? Almost, yeah. So we talked about Nike. That's another big company. Okay, but what's the problem? We're still dealing with that downtrend. Freeze wanted to look at that. I like it more now because we've had the retest of, we talked about the dot. That's a weekly dot. 74.50. XA level 73.50. We're 73.26. And it's been in a downtrend for how many years? 3 years, almost 4 years now. What was that peak? July 21, November 21. 3.5 years. Again, needs more time to get out of that zone. And then these are the arrows we were drawing. You got to get above the 50 here. It's a great example, great pattern, doing nothing because you're not getting the momentum. You're not getting HSI and amplified above their 50s in a strong way. Every time you pop, they sell them back down. Yeah. Yeah. I know the DJT. That. Under Armour, UAA. Yeah, that's a low floater. That's another, remember, and I've been saying low floaters on that. Like, yeah, that's a great setup, okay? Great patterns. I just don't think you're going to do much until you can really get above your 50 levels. Like, look, beautiful back-to-back. This is Under Armour. We've brought this up throughout the last year, and we never really got decisive readings. I mean, maybe back here in August, but it didn't yield much. And that's the problem. If you have a long downtrend and you're going sideways, and this is years, I mean, this is 5 years or more of this, you'd be waiting a while. That's my point. Baidu, yeah, Baidu's up. Baba up. And those are examples, like Baidu, I think's time is now. It came back for the type 2, 83 one more time. That was a 3 ideas, now 102. I like that, where off of that bat, 129. And of course, Baba had massive monthly targets that we've talked about. Monthly, well, weekly's like that, but the monthly is like that. 157.83 is still target one. Another great setup situation that took 3 years before it really decided it wanted to go. Why? Why did it take 3 years? Okay, because coming out of the zone, there's the dot right at T1, but we didn't pop up out of the 50 until October. The first signal was March. That's a lot of time. You're guessing, kind of waiting and waiting and waiting, and then what happens? You go sideways for another 2 years. Why? Because you never got above this 50 here. And then finally you made a push. We talked about that back in September, I guess. Something I had alerted my people. And now that's target one. Pretty clear. Baidu's, I think, maybe the better setup. Playing the catch up. Yeah, Neo is, I'm not going to do that because it's just, that thing is not rebounded. Rivian, we did that last session and that's trying to come back. Like there. No, I don't. Listen, all of those. Yeah, I mean, I'll show you what Lucid 0. Okay, Lucid is, it's a low floater. We don't want that. I'd rather look at Baidu. I'd rather be looking at Amazon or Taiwan Semi than trying to get something out of that. And maybe that could work from 240 to $4, something like that. But I want trending. I want stuff that's trending. All right, because I looked at that. Here's your Neo 522. Yeah, I mean, so. A type 2 shark. But look, the larger deal is this. You're coming down. Yeah, I agree. You have a higher low there, maybe for the first time, but you're going to need more work. I mean, that could trade between $3 and $5, $4 and $5 for a while. Just not quite there yet. All right, let's jump over. How to be a gold member. Gold member is to just go over to harmonictrader.com or send me an email or hit me up on the Discord. DM me on the Discord, okay? That's the place to hit me up. It's here. Go there, Mr. Han. Mr. Han. Bitcoin, guys, 81,446. What are we doing? Bitcoin's like this. It's a crab. It's still a crab right off the top. Because it's a crab pattern, that means this 1618 really should not be exceeded that much. And the way that responded off the 1618 might be even more significant than the target one level at 76,542. This level, 76,783, and the low was 76,702. So I would say 76.5 is kind of a maximum, and it's just languishing here. Can't get above the 50. HSI. I mean, you need a bullish day. I mean, we're looking for prove me candles wrong. Prove your strength, and you're doing this kind of stuff. So 4 hour is oversold at the moment, but we're back in HSI. You basically have to hold here. You do not want to see this thing under 79, 78, 76 is an absolute low. 79.5, guys. You want it holding that green line. Otherwise, Bitcoin's another one. We're going to have to back it out and go to some larger downside targets. I think we're good. At least for the short term, we should be able to get to 89,175. Really 89 to 91. That's what should be happening here. But we need a daily green or two daily greens. We're like day 5 since that yellow dot last week, and we're just kind of languishing here. And I know there's been a lot of talk about big short, some whale opened up a huge short against Bitcoin. It is what it is. We're still in the retracement phase. But the big number is 76, just so you know. A close under 76 negates any possibility for this being the end of what you're looking at. I'm really going to watch this. 81.5 now. I mean, they might want to dunk it down again. And just to frame it out, let's be clear. Look, if it's not 76, then we go to 66. It'll be a target 2 situation. At that point, that'll eat up a lot of time. That's so essential. A lot of people looking for the blow-off stage for this crypto cycle. And a lot of people are saying, all right, maybe it'll come in October. We got to see this. Like I said, we're really at a point here where you're up against this uptrend line. Okay, and I'm fine with the fact that 1025, that was just a 1618 expansion, but we need something here. Or if it's going to come lower, our weekly HSI, and we're deep oversold at the moment, that has to give us an inflection this week, next week. That's why you're not seeing it move. We're still oversold and we're stuck there. I'd have to say you got to go back to July 22. Check this out. Look, you just didn't want to come out down there. And was that from? It first went in May, didn't come out of the oversold area until July, and you spent 6 weeks there down in this area. That's fairly similar to what's going on now. We're oversold. We're taking way more time than a normal inflection to actually get it going again. So I know a lot of people are frustrated with crypto. You're going to be frustrated a little longer, and we're going to have to tighten up the whole scenario. For me, 76 is the scenario. A progressive, adaptive stop loss adjustment. Last time it was this 382 at around 50. That was the make or break, and now I'd say 76 is your make or break now. And it probably eats away at the maximum opportunities or potential for what we could think about in this cycle. There's your first thrust, retraces, second thrust. Okay, another one. Let's just use 1618-ish. Come down here again. And then do another 1618 minimum. That suggests that this is going to be, in your best hopes, a rather tame maximum upside, where maybe we were looking for 155, as high as 210. Those are the two numbers we talked about, essentially off the last cycle. We've been looking at this. Bitcoin. Everybody knows 1025. That was our 1618 right there. Okay, 1025. That's why we got a little bit higher than the 1618. There you go. And then 2618. That was 155, 160. That might be the maximum, and I'd be surprised if we get up all the way up there. All depends on how much time we spend doing this retracement, how many months. And look at the last few retracements. These were all 3 bar, 5 bar affairs minimum. So since the top, this is like month 3. Best case scenario is something like that. Eating up a lot of time and a lot of potential here on the monthly chart. And whatever that close is, if we close, I'll just say this. If we close under 85K, that would be weak. Definitely need to see Bitcoin close above 85 or 90K with a green bar. Otherwise, Bitcoin's going to probably come all the way back down more than 382. And again, defaulting up to the next time frame is really where we're at. We're on the edge there at 76, but there's the monthly 382. That's like 72.5, 73,000. Okay, but more likely would be like 50% retracement, which gets you 61-ish, and that's comes back, retest the prior highs. You spend another month here and you don't reclaim what has been, then it's a deeper retracement. Deeper retracement than just something that's 76. And that's when I say default to possibilities, that's exactly what I'm talking about. We won't need more than another week or two to be able to make that discernment. How soon? Let's see what happens on the weekly here. We're coming up to that all-important spring equinox, the 21st date. You pretty much want that to be a low. But I've been alluding to the fact that this could go on until June and be a lot like what happened last year. Topped out, a couple of oversold signals, and then we bottomed. It was like late April, I guess. But any kind of real turnaround, stabilization, multiple tests, that was end of June and still took 3 more months. And that's what Bitcoin does. Yeah, I get it. I'm hearing that from everybody. Everybody is frustrated and they're looking at all kinds of levels. Yes, 200 day, 200 simple moving average. People looking for death cross and just a lot of bearishness out there, which I find encouraging, but I still need to see some oversold readings. And that comes with this. They're all doing it. Like the major markets on the weekly are doing this thing. So you can't make the call, can't make even the decision that this thing wants to stabilize until that does. Hook of Fish is saying all on-chain metrics say BTC is in a full bear market now. Well, if it's in a full bear market, then it's going to do at least a 618 retracement of this move. I mean, if you're in a bear market all time, 618 is like 50K. And I'm not saying that to scare people. I'm just saying if you're looking for, you're just trying to narrow down scenarios. Okay, and we've been just looking at a retracement. We've been on this daily retracement since January, especially with that latest confirmation. And now we have a new bullish pattern, first daily bullish pattern we've seen. We got to go a ways back here. Where was it? We have to go all the way back to even the lows. And I think the fact that you were able to produce a bullish pattern is kind of the first sign of being constructive. But I will look at it like this. Again, that's what it has to be maximum. That 1618 down to 76.5. That is your edge. That's the edge on where if you're going to have more issues with Bitcoin it's there. And again, spending a lot of time on Bitcoin because the other ones are decimated. Ethereum, okay, 1900. There's a few things there at 1900. You have this pretty weird bat pattern, but weekly, okay, if this is going to be a trend line retest, based on really the argument I was presenting last time, that you'd have to hold that and you'd have to get out of this oversold. Here we are again, where HSI is just still oversold. So we're doing nothing. We're doing nothing until that can come out of the zone. And yes, it can still keep going lower. Where's the crab on the daily? I'm going to go to Binance feed. And this is another one to be watching. You know, if we're going to get any kind of clue of what's going on here, we have a crab. We have a few things. Where's the type 2 crab? I think it's now showing a bat. This big bat, but there was a crab pattern here, type 2 crab. Hold on. This crab. The other ones are showing a bat because that must have just completed, and that's a bigger structure. But the 1 and the 2, 1897, we're under 1897, guys. And are we going back in? Yeah, not a great look. Not a great look. If this fails, I would be surprised. But that's what it seems like it wants to do. And the weekly time frame is like this, where you're just deep oversold. You gotta just stand back and let that at least try to shake out and do something. But I have not liked Ethereum the whole cycle. Okay, I'm not long Ethereum, and again, this is why. I've said it many times. This double top up here and the way we failed 4,000 was devastating, and it was right at the all-time 786. So until you have something that can materialize like an HSI or a DOT, where we've seen these at repeated lows, you know, Ethereum is going to weigh down the market. And the other one is Solana, which is, you know, went from everybody's probably favorite big cap down here at 123. I got to think 105 is where this goes. Nothing here on Solana except for target 2 at 105. And I don't want to repeat over and over again, but would just have to come back this week knowing, or next week, knowing this week you're deeply oversold. But it needs a week to come out. And then so recommending anything else, I think is really futile. To expect anything to come out of here or any others to move while Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin are doing what they're doing. If they can't stabilize, do you think anything else is going to stabilize? Not yet, not for a while. Really something else. The other thing that I was showing everybody, I didn't do anything with it, and it's coming back down, XLM. All right, I'll talk about that XLM trade from October, but why is it different now? There's a type 2, and there's the dot, but that all of that, 25.5 cents, and we still haven't even made that move above the 50 level. Just to highlight, okay, back in October when I was pounding the table on it, we had a number of things down there, and then you go to our daily or weekly, both of those had popped above the 50 well before price started to move. And I'll get into what my rationale was. We'll review all the tweets. It was extremely well documented. But meanwhile, here's another beautiful daily pattern. where our relative readings are different. We're not above the 50, and HSI not trending up. That has to be pushing higher. So that, and then XRP, I'm just, XRP, I know a lot of people are talking about it. I don't have anything to share with you on XRP, but it might be a massive head and shoulders top. That's about it. A harmonic head and shoulders at that. Like, there's left. You go there up to, I guess that was a 1.6, almost a 1.618. Down, and then a reciprocal, like it's like a 141, so a 707 here almost is perfect. But all of that is only really in the books until you break that trend line. And so you break that trend line, and again, I'm going to still say it's under 180. The whole thing falls apart. Now, that could change over a few weeks of some positive bullish readings. We do have this support right there. All of it's like $2. A couple of HSI daily. But just if I'm looking for trending behavior, that's not it. And this is not it either. It was a nice attempt to get above the 50 and then just no follow through. Weekly is worse because the weekly is still deeply oversold to 50. And I only think it's going to be, we're under the 50 on amplified right now. Like if that turns down and we break this little midpoint test for XRP, that's where acceleration really happens. And I think that's something that I need to stress, emphasize, point out, especially when we do sessions like this, because the readings, the relative strength stuff, all of that relates to understanding the character, the relative character, meaning if we go from 50 down to 30 here, that's where this bearish price can accelerate. In the same way, when we go up from 50 to 70 or higher, you can see price advance. It's a different character. You're under the 50 level, you're not going to do it. None of these are doing any of that. Yeah, we just did gold about 10 minutes ago. Talbot and Soar. What's up, Diamond? Welcome to the show. And I'm not, look, Tau was something where we had the last thing on Tau we had was the bearish crab. Remember that? And this was our assumption. When we were, even back in December, we were saying this. And a lot of people talking great stuff about, oh, Tau, and that's the top AI coin, whatever. And we were saying, look, let it come and do the type 1 down target 1, or even better, target 2, because a lot of these crypto were going to target 2 on that initial reaction. Where's the dot? It's there. But then what happened? Well, we got the counter dot. And it's been lower since. So we have a shark, a bullish shark. There's our first pattern on Tau. But again, stuff like this, that beaten up, it has to be almost obvious. And this is not above the 50. So leave it alone. If anything, you're probably looking for a deeper retest, 200, 165. It's not pretty. I mean, that's the short of it. Tau, it broke the mold. It broke the target 2 maximum. And I would say this is a scenario for the S&P. If you're here on the S&P and you don't hold this target 2, then you kind of crack it and you really fall apart. And what is it going to take to reset? Probably another pattern, probably a major secondary oversold reading. That's a lot can be related to S&P 500 and NASDAQ right now. And the lackluster response off of the target 2 test is also another sign. This stuff matters. If you understand what's happening in the framework and you get like a type 1 reaction and it barely bounces and gives you a counter HSI, that's weak. It's still weak. And you're not missing anything. We'll do a lot of that on Friday at the course. Okay. Who wants to win a 30-day package and get to go to the Friday program? Type in HPC 30. Please, nobody that has won before. Get over that. That'll be Friday at 10 a.m. All right. And then for everyone that's brand new here, go become a basic member. Okay. That just requires an email address. Vats Sharma, you win. You got to hit me up on the Discord. Here's that link. And then everybody else, get with the 2-week program. At least get acquainted. I'm going to show a few different things for everybody. Like, how do you accelerate harmonic pattern learning curve? I'm going to show you the exact strategies at the levels to be looking for. But I'll also show you how to get kind of really sped up on just seeing as many patterns as possible. Send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. And people have been asking, and so I'm throwing in a 15% discount code with the email that goes out, and we're doing that for the month. People are asking me for a discount. I get it, and I'm happy to oblige if people want. We do that. Normally we do the big Friday, Black Friday, but you know, a lot of people missed out on Black Friday, so we'll do a little promotion for the end of the month. But let me just show you guys one thing. Let's go to NASDAQ futures, which are just sitting right there at 19.5. Remember, I said the number was 19,471 for today. And let me just show you guys something another little teaser into the course. But congratulations. You got to just contact me. But here's what I'm looking at right now, okay? 5-minute right here, right now. Ooh, nice alternate bat. That's on extended. But we have on regular trading hours here. There you go. Right now. We're at a deep crab. We put in a dot. There's a counter dot. Watch this right here at, what is it, 19? Oh, this is for the June contract. So I'm a little off. The 19,471, that's March for the June contract. It's 19,657. Regardless, this is the move I'm looking for to retest into the end of the day. We're finally starting to get above the 50. HSI not up above the 50 yet. But that's what I'm looking for against this larger 19.2. Where'd it go? Where's my bat pattern? Hold on. Daily dot. Where's the other ones? 886, 786. There it is. It's a bat pattern. All right, big levels, huge levels. That's the June contract. So update those numbers because we'll be on June, especially come Thursday. All right, here's the little secret. You want to get a lot of patterns, okay, and just follow micro moves. Pull up a 5-second chart and see how many do type 1, type 2, how many with confirmation. Okay, and I'll go through this in when we do the presentation, but just go through. I'm going to explain the scenarios, the type 1, the type 2 trade, and then the type 2 return, and then how to look at tertiary, secondary, or tertiary signals. So pull up a 5-minute chart on NQ. You're getting zillions of trades. Can you take them all? No. I do look at this for pinpointing larger areas, but a lot to glean here. Like there's a perfect type 2, but the real move didn't happen until you had the dot. we'll work through a lot of that. That'll be Friday. I mean, here we are, 5-second chart right now. Okay, big bearish dot at around 19,720, and then only gives you a short reaction. Look for that follow through like that. Okay, a lot going on here. I don't want to overwhelm people, but there are a lot of ways to kind of enhance that learning curve. Okay, to understand reaction, reversal, confirmation, how to manage. And we need indicators, we need levels all in the right place to dictate what to expect. For right now, you know, this is for the day. I'd say right here, 19,725, that's your maximum resistance. Look at the prior patterns. That's even on a 30-second chart with 19.6. And compare that with a 5-minute. This is really for day trading. But even the 5-minute pattern here, couple of patterns yesterday, up at around 20K, 21.51 was the XA off the deep crab. That's just reaction so far. Okay, need to get that to return. Will that return? Can we get that higher? But it's really clear. This target one at 715 and then a little bit lower, like 685. That's your range for the day. We have to hold, rally back to go higher. And I would say this is Thursday. Okay, these are the Thursday lows. We were here on Thursday. We were right there staring this in the face. And then Friday came all the way back down and recovered it. There's all the way back down Friday. Actually, that was Tuesday. That was Thursday, scraping the edges. These two lows right there. Just so you know, this is for now the June contract. Bump the number to 19.4. And if 19.4 is the make or break before something much larger, that makes this current 5-minute zone almost as important as Thursday's retest. This would be a secondary confirmation that needs to push higher by the close today. I don't care. It could be 20, 30, 40 points from current levels, but it has to be higher from where it is now. We are still trying to get out of this hole. It's not over yet. And if it doesn't work out, we're going to know that we're going to be in for something larger to anticipate into the end of the month. Thursday, we'll know. Yeah, green and red, that's however you want to do the dots. It's fine. That's great. SUI, yeah, Diamond. I'm not I'm real clear on the crypto scene. Okay, Bitcoin has to turn around. Ethereum looks like garbage. Solana looks like it needs to go lower. And so the rest of them, there's really not much there until the big boys can turn around. And it's a lot like the markets here. Markets need to put up some green days. And we know what the consequences are. You know, something larger sooner than later. That's how close we are. I mean, we have this butterfly, and this is the last one, but on the weekly, we have a butterfly here. It's been up for a while on NASDAQ. Where's target one? 17,838. And the number I just gave you guys, which was 19.4, is the level. You're one more day like today from basically cracking into this being a larger breakdown, meltdown, and then you have a 20+% retracement on your hands. It's that close. It's that close. We'll be back on Thursday to talk about it. All right? Anybody else, if you got questions about anything, the software, strategy, Friday's program, hit me up on the Discord. I usually get back to everybody there within a few hours or 24 hours at most. If I didn't get to you, send me another note. And, let me know if you have any questions. All right. Everyone else, get over to harmonictrader.com. Okay. That's what I have for today, guys. Hope everyone's hanging in there. Let's just give it. We have to remain patient. Any other questions? Get me in Discord and look forward to seeing everybody on Friday. Yeah, it'll be recorded for later for the members and software people. Great. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your afternoon. Let's see what happens. I'm hoping this NASDAQ can stabilize here. Super critical.